So, hello all, and today I'm going to discuss about something about Naxalism, which is there whose second name is Maoism, or they are also known as left-wing extremist. Now, it is a problem of India, internal problem of India. So, without solving any internal problem, a country cannot propagate peace, even in the internal sector. And we are the currently, the most important countries, one of the most important country in the world. So, it is very, I can say, very important to understand how this is able to get rid of, and as well as how is this problem coming from, where is the roots, and what are the measures. So starting from the historical part, that Naxalism, it is a word deriving from an ideology which was propagated in the a village of the West Bengal known as Naxalbari. Now the people residing there, see, initially the West Bengal wasn't divided at the time, but this West Bengal, you would be hearing that it is full of resources. Like there are Tata steels mines, Tata, steels and mines are there everywhere. Like coal producing plant, we generally hear in geography even is there, right? So it is somewhat an important area for industrialists, or I can say, the current, the like, for example, one who wants to get earn from a natural resources. The tribals at Naxalbari village were the same. Like they had a very normal, or a very, like, they have like, no, sorry for this, but they were not a good communicated guys. Now the peoples the people looking for exploiting the natural resources started in exploiting them, because see, the tribal people looks their home, looks everything behind, like beside and behind their land only. There is one famous saying, Jal, Jungle and Zameen. These three words are the three and the only three dimensions of the Naxals or the tribals. This exploitation of, the money wanters, I can say, this exploitation created one gap, that no one was there, any government or any bureaucrat, to hear hear the voice of the tribals, that their rights were being taken away, thus by giving some small amount of money. Their villages or their lands were taken away to these exploiters for the mines extractions. So how anyone who is loving their land, even loving their jungle and jameen, can sacrifice it? So they started one peaceful revolution. Now the peaceful revolution was started, but at that time there was an introduction by communism towards this movement. That is, communism is in India, which were brought to Naxalism in order to help them, but they have highly inclined towards the Maoism. Let me explain these two. Communism, it means there must be an equal share of every section in the society. That means they are talking about a revolution which they would be doing in order to overthrow the current class of, the aiming or the very much earning people, and the new classless society would be established by the people who generally work to get the money. So this is somewhat a communism thought, and afterwards they inclined towards this red book, or somewhat like this Marxism, Maoism, that is somewhat power flows through a barrel of the gun. That means they will carry out their right. They will have the right with the gun or with the power. They are aiming to, have one society which is classless. They are trying to overthrow the society by having a power on their side. So how, hypocritical the statement or even the ideology is, that you are using power to dethrone a power. And again, there is no further roadmap that how they would do. They are just telling that we would do once we get the same. It went violent once again. But once again, there is a two-sided problems. There were problem in the people also. There were problem in identification authorities also, bureaucrats, even the police at that time, and the government, the politicians, which were there for, especially for votes. They were thinking as them as a vote bank, whereas the people were started being neglected, and their threshold was much high, and like their threshold was much less, and they created the movement. And there they have various divisions currently in, if I tell you, in currently they have various defined modus operandi. That is, the way of they're doing is much specified. That is, they generally work in a group. They have guerrilla warfare technique where they let their enemies here is the central armed police force of the India, to let in the area, and by taking the advantage of the areas of the jungle of Sukma, even Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, and some of the area of Andhra Pradesh, they just have a great opportunity of taking land recognition. They attacked on the enemies. Here, and once again, the enemy is our own countrymen, that is CAPF personals, right? So there have been many incidents in which the forces have been become a victim. But once again, at the same time, the one who has been taking the weapons are not a foreign ones. The guidance and the money or the resources are coming from the foreign, just like China and Pakistan, which are doing. But all the country men are the same. So there, government initially recognized this as a problem. Afterwards, they have also thought to do as a multi-pronged approach. That is, you cannot, kill the ideology by killing just a man. So it is better to reorient those men, reorient those ideologies, and to instill some of those importance of the nation and well-being of the nation. Thus, a multi-pronged approach, which included education to the normal people of the tribals, which included the improvisation of forest rights to the tribal people, also to well recognized police working modus operandi in such a way that the operations which they are do remain specific. Yes, there is no int, much specific int is much less compared to those we see in this northern frontier. So this is how it works. And yes, currently, according to the governmental data, it's in the last leg currently. Like, there have been abduction these events which were decreased to 02, right? It was earlier, if I say you the data, then it was around 492 abduction events was there, but it has reduced to only 2 abduction events in the year 2021, and it has even decreased here. But again, as it is in the last leg, but last leg is the most important. They are more violent because they have been getting destroyed. That's what most important method is here. So I think we should have one common goodwill of politician, that let it be a national interest, not a political interest. We should not wait for more election to come and to take a few great steps. Yes, and more power should be there given to the CAPFs. Currently, there are again various biases which were there. Without biases, the forces would be happy to conduct their operations. Even if not, then they would be satisfied to do the operations even. So that's all, gentlemen, and the one who are like watching this video. Thank you. Bye.